More than 2,000 years ago, a small town called Rome rose to power and built one of the greatest empires in history. This is the story of how it happened and why it eventually fell. Rome rises. A long time ago, in a place called Italy, a small village named Rome began to grow. According to an old legend, it was founded by two twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, in 753 BCE. The legend says that the twins were abandoned as babies, but a she-wolf saved them and raised them. Later, Romulus became the first ruler of Rome. At first, Rome was just a small village with a king in charge. The kings were powerful, but not everyone liked the idea of having one ruler. After many years, the people of Rome decided to end the rule of kings. In 509 BCE, they overthrew their last king and created something new, a republic. In this republic, leaders were elected by the people, not born into power. Rome expands through war and peace. Rome was still a small city, but it quickly grew into a powerful republic. The Roman people built a strong army and fought many battles to protect their city. They didn't just defend their land, they began to conquer new lands. Rome's first big challenge came from a city called Carthage, located in North Africa. The two cities fought in the Punic Wars. The First Punic War began in 264 BCE, and it was all about control of the island of Sicily. Even though Carthage had a strong navy, Rome's soldiers were strong and determined. After a long fight, Rome won the war and took control of Sicily. The Second Punic War was even harder. The Carthaginian general, Hannibal, led his army across the Alps and into Italy. He won many battles, but eventually, Rome defeated him in 202 BCE. The Third Punic War ended with the complete destruction of Carthage, and Rome took control of even more land. The Roman Republic faces trouble. By the 2nd century BCE, Rome had grown even larger. It now controlled huge territories, including parts of Spain, France, Greece, and North Africa. The Roman army was unbeatable, but the more Rome conquered, the more problems it faced. Rome's government, a republic, started to struggle. The rich became richer and the poor grew poorer. The wealthy citizens took control of more land and power, while ordinary people had little say in the government. Many soldiers came home from wars and found that their land had been taken away by the rich. One famous general, Gaius Marius, tried to fix this problem by letting poor citizens join the army. This was a major change, and it made the army stronger and more loyal to their generals than to the republic itself. As time went on, power became more divided. The Senate, which once held great power, became weak. One general, Lucius Cornelius Sulla, marched on Rome and took control in 82 BCE. This was the beginning of a new chapter of chaos and civil war in Rome. Julius Caesar and the end of the Republic. Among all the generals in Rome's history, one man stands out, Julius Caesar. He was a brilliant general and a clever politician. Caesar was born in 100 BCE into a noble family, and he quickly rose to power through his military victories and alliances. In 58 BCE, Caesar led a successful campaign in Gaul, modern-day France, and expanded Rome's territory. His army was loyal and he was loved by the people. But not everyone was happy with Caesar's growing power. The Senate, which had always held control, feared that Caesar would become too powerful. They ordered him to return to Rome without his army. Instead, in 49 BCE, Caesar crossed the Rubicon River with his army and marched on Rome. This was a daring move. It meant that Caesar was starting a civil war. He defeated his enemies and became the most powerful man in Rome. In 44 BCE, Caesar was declared dictator for life, but many senators worried that he was becoming too powerful. So they assassinated him on the Ides of March. From republic to empire. After Caesar's death, Rome fell into chaos once again. Civil war broke out and Rome was divided. But from this chaos, a new leader emerged, Caesar's adopted son, Octavian. Octavian, who later took the name Augustus, fought his rivals and became the first Roman emperor in 27 BCE. The creation of the Roman Empire was a turning point. Augustus brought peace to Rome after years of civil war. This time of peace was called the Pax Romana, which lasted for over 200 years. Augustus's rule marked the beginning of a new era in Rome's history, the glory of the Roman Empire. During the Pax Romana, Rome flourished. Augustus made many improvements to the city, building new roads, temples, and even a forum, a public space for meetings and debates. The Romans also built grand buildings like the Colosseum, which became famous for gladiatorial contests. Rome grew wealthy, and the population grew to millions. The Roman Empire expanded to its largest size during the reigns of emperors like Trajan and Hadrian. At its peak, Rome controlled much of Europe, parts of North Africa, and the Middle East. The empire stretched from Britain in the west to Mesopotamia in the east. Rome's roads connected the empire, making it easier to trade goods, travel, and communicate. Roman law and government influenced much of the world. The empire also became a center of art, literature, and learning. Trouble in paradise. But even the greatest empires faced challenges. As Rome's empire grew, so did its problems. The Roman Empire became so large that it was difficult to govern effectively. The emperor's power weakened, and corruption spread. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer. Rome also faced attacks from barbarian tribes, like the Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns, who started to invade the empire's borders. The empire was also facing economic troubles. As the empire expanded, the cost of running it became too high. Soldiers were often poorly paid, and the government didn't have enough money to pay them. The split of the Roman Empire. In 285 CE, the Emperor Diocletian decided to split the Roman Empire into two parts, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. Diocletian thought this would make it easier to rule because the empire was so large. The Eastern Roman Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, was stronger and survived for nearly 1,000 years. This part of the empire became known as the Byzantine Empire. The Western Roman Empire, with its capital in Rome, faced more problems. It was attacked by barbarian tribes and weakened by poor leadership. In 476 CE, the last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustus, was overthrown by a barbarian leader named Odoacer. This marked the end of the Western Roman Empire. Rome's legacy. Even though the Western Roman Empire fell, the ideas and achievements of Rome lived on. The Byzantine Empire continued many of Rome's traditions and kept Roman culture alive. Rome's influence can still be seen in the world today. Roman law became the foundation for many legal systems. Roman architecture, such as arches and columns, inspired buildings that still stand today. Even languages like Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese are based on Latin, the language of Rome. Rome's story teaches us that even the greatest empires can fall, but their legacy continues to shape the world. Rome showed us how to build cities, write laws, and govern people. The story of Rome's rise and fall is one of glory and tragedy, but its impact will never be forgotten. Conclusion: the lessons of Rome. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire remind us that power and success do not last forever. Rome's glory was built on hard work, bravery, and wisdom, but in the end, even the greatest empires can fall if they are not careful. As we look at the world today, we can learn from Rome's story. We can learn about leadership, the importance of law and order, and how to build a strong society. Rome fell, but its ideas still shape the way we live today. The story of the Roman Empire will never fade, and its lessons will continue to guide us for generations to come.